so many organizations, the leadership of the organization will say, we want to be a more innovative organization, or we want to be a more customer-focused organization. And everybody in the audience is like, yeah, that makes sense. But there's no specifics. Like, all right, so how do we become more innovative? When should we become more innovative? How do we become more customer-centered? So a lot of leaders often create these very inspiring high-level ambitions for the organization, but don't build the roadmap to show individuals in that organization how they begin to adopt those behaviors or put those behaviors into practice. So one of the things we talk about is the importance of, we talked about this before, road mapping. How do you draw a map from where they are, from present state to future state, and give people very clear steps to take versus just saying, all right, next year our goal is to be more innovative. Everybody go be more innovative. And everyone in the organization's like, should I stop doing my normal job to be more innovative? Like, should I do it on Wednesdays or Thursdays? How many hours a week should I be innovative? And so while leadership sometimes thinks they're making these big, inspiring goals or establishing these big, inspiring principles for the organization, people who have to actually implement that are often left feeling very confused about how to get tactical about it. So we talk about this a lot in the chapters on effort. How do you build a map from present state to future state that demystifies and removes the ambiguity required to help people make that change? Let me think of there's several examples of this. So I used to work at a firm called IDEO, which is a design and innovation consultancy. And I feel like most of the briefs we got at IDEO, most of the innovation challenges were some version of this. Like, we want to become a more human-centered organization. We want to become a more innovative organization. Next year is the year of innovation. Now everybody go. And everyone stands up and applauds, and then they go back to their desks and do their normal work because. So I think that one of there's a bunch of different ways that I can answer this, but one of the ways of bringing about transformational change is not to start big, but rather to start small. So a couple of examples we use in the book are around like digital transformation, or how do you get an organization to become more customer focused? It usually doesn't happen effectively when it comes from the top down. It usually happens more effectively when it bubbles up from the bottom up. So we talk about the importance of starting small, and in particular, we talk about this idea called beacon projects. How do you, rather than say we're going to become a more customer-focused or innovative organization, how do you find a discrete project for one group in the company to work on to demonstrate for everybody else in the organization what being more customer-focused looks like? And how might you carve that off for 16 or 20 weeks? Invite that team to share out what they're learning with the rest of the organization every week, so the rest of the organization feels like they're being brought along on the journey. And at the end, when that program generates a very different outcome than previous ways of working might have generated, and everybody stands up and says, wow, that's really cool. What you've done is you've created this beacon for the rest of the individuals in this organization. And they say, hey, what you did over in that area, I'd like to try over in marketing. Can I try that approach in marketing? Can we try that approach in operations? But now by showing them what good looks like and showing them how it happens, you've created this movement of change that's a series of small steps versus one very big and ambiguous step from the top down. So counterintuitively, we talk about how transformational change usually starts small. It doesn't start big. And sometimes saying things like digital transformation is so overwhelming to everybody in the company that they're paralyzed because it sounds like it's going to take forever. It sounds very complicated. It sounds expensive. It makes me feel threatened because what if I'm not comfortable using digital tools? I've been doing something a certain way for 20 years. Now you're asking me to take a totally different approach. That makes me afraid. So when we can start by demonstrating what good looks like at a small level with these beacon projects, we can inspire the organization from above.